U.S. immigration officials arrested rapper 21 Savage in Atlanta this morning. His real name is Shea bin Abraham Joseph. Officials say the British citizen entered the U.S. legally in 2005, but did not leave the U.S. when his visa expired in 2006. He was convicted on felony drug charges in 2014. Deportation proceedings are underway. Abraham Joseph is nominated for 2 awards at next week's Grammy Awards.
Streets gotta eat. Streets gotta eat. Streets gotta eat. So I did a story about this back in 2019, shortly after 21 Savage was first arrested and ultimately detained by ICE. And it's back in the news, courtesy of Wack 100. Wack is notoriously going on Clubhouse, having back and forths, confrontations of many sorts with many different people. If you tuning in on YouTube, just put in a search for Wack 100 Clubhouse and you get plenty of search results. But as it pertains to 21 Savage, they recently got into a back and forth. Wack 100 was mad at 21 for allowing, a female to come on to his space, and I guess she disparaged Wack 100, and I guess she was affiliated with 21. So in turn, Wack turned his attention on 21 Savage and brought up the fact that he's possibly cooperating with law enforcement. Now, the reason why Wack 100 is saying that 21 is possibly cooperating with law enforcement is when he was arrested back in 2019. He was arrested by Atlanta PD, unregistered handgun, firearm, and controlled substance. I believe he had codeine. Now, he was ultimately handed over to ICE and detained for several weeks before being released. Now, once all of these developments were made public, people were like, well, why is he being held by ICE? It was made known that 21 Savage is not actually an American citizen, but a United Kingdom national or a British national who was brought here while he was a child, while he was a minor, by his parents, either his mother or his father, and eventually overstayed his visa. Subsequently, throughout his childhood, attending DeKalb County Public Schools, he was arrested and charged with possession of a loaded firearm. Now, he was arrested in 2019. What was made known subsequently to his arrest was that in 2017, 21 Savage applied for a U visa. And the U visa gives opportunities for illegal immigrants to, be made official with a visa. Now, a U visa, as you'll see here, this is a PDF from the Immigration Relief website and the Department of Homeland Security. It says, as a law enforcement official, you play an important role in the application process for U non-immigrant status. The U visa can be a key tool to support your case. The U visa can help certain crime victims feel safer reporting crimes so that they may be more willing to work with you. Now, this is just telling law enforcement the benefits of, being aware of the opportunities for victims to claim this status. Now it says here, U visa eligibility, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, within the Department of Homeland Security, decides if a person is eligible for a U visa. Some of the qualifying situations is the person is a victim of a qualifying crime or criminal activity. They have information about the crime or criminal activity, and they was or is likely to be helpful in the detection or investigation of the qualifying crime or criminal activity, or the prosecution, conviction, or sentencing of the perpetrator of the qualifying crime or criminal activity. So if you apply for a U visa, you first have to admit that you've been a victim of a crime, or that you've been a victim of criminal activity or harmed by criminal activity. Second, you have to have information about the crime or the criminal activity, and you have to furnish that to law enforcement. And you have to be helpful in investigations of the crimes, the prosecutions and convictions, and or sentencing of the perpetrators that are involved with the crime. So this is basically you admitting to be a cooperating person in law enforcement investigations and prosecutions. So when Wack 100 levels the accusation against 21 Savage being a cooperator, he is essentially right. Now, we don't know to the extent if he has provided information, what information he has provided, but we know that to even be considered for a U visa, you have to fit these criteria. And he applied for a U visa in 2017. He was arrested in 2019. Now, what we didn't know was the arrest was orchestrated by ICE. And apparently it was a short time before he was to have a immigration hearing. It says here, as previously reported by Revolt, Savage's team believes the traffic stop was orchestrated by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And it says the warrant appears to have been sought at the behest of ICE, as the warrant was issued in the eve of an immigration hearing and Mr. Joseph's deportation hearing. So previously, or prior to him being arrested in 2019, he was already on ICE's radar, and he was already on the docket for proceedings about him being deported. So it was more than likely that he was going to miss that proceeding. ICE contacted law enforcement, local law enforcement being Atlanta PD. And even though Atlanta's a sanctuary city, it seems as if this is the case, that Atlanta PD cooperated with ICE in detaining and arresting 21 Savage. So, you know, the story is very murky. But in a nutshell, in 2017, he applied for a U visa. And apparently this was in an attempt for him to obtain legal status to remain in the country. Now, what crime was he a victim of? Who did he agree, or what criminal activity did he agree to provide information on? And what information has he subsequently provided? This we don't know yet. And I'm not sure if we'll ever know. They always say that snitches always have paperwork, and that's not true, as you can see on the video that I've done several months ago on this channel. There's many types of ways that people can cooperate, and they're not always on the radar as far as paperwork. Some of this information is highly classified, and some of these people will never testify in court, so they will never be made known in any discovery. So unless you're within law enforcement and intimately involved with the case, chances are you'll have no way of actually proving any accusations. But again, the premise for the U visa is that you were a victim of a crime, and that you have information about the crime or the persons that committed the crime, and you agree to participate in investigations and prosecutions. So just wanted to touch back in with this information. The video I did was back in 2019, and the audio was terrible. So my apologies. But again, I just wanted to touch back in and give an update. And if I find anything else about 21 Savage's immigration status. Oh, one more thing. The handgun that he was actually arrested and charged with initially, official charges didn't actually get filed until earlier this year in 2022. I believe in January is what I'm finding out. So there was a delay in actually, I believe, indicting or formally charging 21 Savage with that handgun. So his ICE case is supposedly on pause until they dispose of the handgun and controlled substance case. So again, if any updates are made available, I'll come back to you. In the meantime, smash like on this video. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's your man online, Bill Money, signing off. I'll see you on the other side.